wherein we have talked about Ibrahim alayhi salam young age when he was a teenager and when he faced the Namrud, the king, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed him to build the Kaaba, and he submitted himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's desire and wish. And we see the benefit till today. His name is being mentioned due to the sacrifices he has made for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We talk about Uzair alayhi salam and Maryam alayhi salam, Zakaria alayhi salam. The Qur'an is full of stories. And the stories are very interesting for everyone, for young one, for old one. And there is a lot of reflection in it. Today, in today's para, there are so many stories. وَإِلَىٰ عَادٍ أَخَاهُمْ هُودًا وَإِلَىٰ ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا. Today we'll talk about a lady who had everything at her doorstep, but she gave up for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that lady has been mentioned in 28 para, Surah Al-Tahrim, Asiyah alayhi salam, the wife of Fir'aun. She had everything, what we dream of, a kingdom, a palace beneath which the river flows, and the garden, orchards, maids, slaves, army. Her husband has such an army where no one could have stand in front of him. Such a person who had everything in his life, in her life. Subhanallah. How did she embrace the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the faith? And how did she embrace, she started believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through her maid. Her maid, she was grooming the daughter of Fir'aun, and Mashita, the one who combed the hairs. And at one point, while combing the hair, the comb dropped, and while picking the comb, she cursed, and she said, "Curse upon that person who worship other than Allah. Curse upon that person who worship other than Allah." So the daughter of Fir'aun, she said, "Are you cursing? Who are you cursing? Are you cursing my dad?" So she said, "No, I don't believe your dad as a God. I believe in Allah." So that daughter of Fir'aun, she had the prideness as well, same like her dad. She slapped the Mashita, and then she went to the Fir'aun and she said, the lady who serve us, she doesn't believe in you as a God. She has a very small kingdom, and her small kingdom was just her children, nothing else. So Fir'aun, as he was irrational, the only way he could control people with anger and with the threats of dunya. He gave her many threats of dunya. He punished her, and he hanged her on the peg. And the least what he could have used was use her children to bargain, to convince her to leave the faith of deen and believe him as a God, and he used that. But however, she was a strong lady. She's seen that her children are being killed for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's that story of his own time. However, this Asiyah alayhi salam, the lady of Fir'aun, she was watching and observing all this. And later on, he was receiving the message of Musa alayhi salam, and she was receiving the message of Harun alayhi salam, who was an eloquent speaker. And later on, she went to the Fir'aun, and she went to the Fir'aun and she denounced him as a God, and believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As everyone else, she started getting tortured by Fir'aun. At the final moments came, and when the slaves and the people of the army of Fir'aun was torturing him to the final such a torture which is unbearable. There was no limit after that. So then the army said that to the Fir'aun, if she managed to get home, if she managed to survive this torture, This is the final torture. After this, she won't be able to manage it to survive. So the Fir'aun lift her head, Asi alayhi salam, and shown the palace. This is the palace. You can get everything back if you denounce what you believe and believe in me. So at that moment in time, she said, Rabbi habli. At that moment in time, she said, Oh Allah, this man is bribing for the kingdom of dunya. Why not you give me the palace of Akhirah? Why not you give me the palace of Akhirah? Why not you promise me a palace of Akhirah? At that moment in time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted her du'as, and that is why she is so virtuous. Allah has mentioned her virtue in the Qur'an, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has also mentioned her virtue in the Sirah, and one of the prophets, one of the wives in Jannah will be Asi alayhi salam. So she was the wife of Fir'aun. And what sacrifices? The highest sacrifice you make, the highest reward you get. So she went from the Fir'aun to the wife of Rasulullah. What a journey, subhanAllah. So what sacrifices we need to make with having partner husband of the religion? So the Islamic dua. Until today, hundreds and thousands of people from all around the world go to Allah. Today is the time to plant the seeds. And inshallah, till the Qiyamah, our sacrifices will bring the fruit. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us those who make the sacrifices for His sake.